Coming up, the COVID-19 pandemic is a big milestone. And later, re-election bids start as the Iowa gubernatorial race heats up.
Men's basketball team advances to the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament. I'll tell you more in sports.
Will the winter weather disappear in time for spring break? I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more coming up in this morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Ethan Brander. This upcoming Sunday marks the second anniversary of when the CDC declared COVID-19 a pandemic. DITV reporter Lauren Johnson asked students how they're feeling after 2 years in a pandemic.
2 years ago today, the University of Iowa announced they would take classes online for 2 weeks after spring break. Students did not end up returning to campus until August of that year. I asked students how they're feeling as we approach the 2-year anniversary of when COVID-19 began disrupting life in the United States.
It's kind of crazy to think that it's been 2 years since the school shut down, because I was still in high school, so it was weird. And it's weird to see how far everything has come with the vaccines and masks and everything.
Some students feel that the pandemic is coming to an end.
Just feels like it's been a really long road. I guess I'm pretty excited that it's been so long since the beginning, so it feels like we're kind of in the ending stages of it.
A year ago, widespread vaccine rollout created hope that the pandemic would soon be over.
With the vaccine rolling out, there's hope that the pandemic will be ending soon.
Now, students worry that COVID-19 will never go away.
I think there's still a lot that people don't understand about it and won't take precautions for, and I just think until people realize it, it's just going to keep going on forever.
Experts say COVID-19 will likely stick around, but not cause as much disruption to everyday life. And the United States is truly starting to open up again, with the CDC dropping mask recommendations in most states and the public transportation mask mandate currently set to expire April 18th. Although COVID-19 may not be gone yet, it looks like the United States is entering a new phase of the pandemic.
From the University of Iowa, Lauren Johnson, DITV.
Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds has announced her re-election. Under 8 months until the 2022 midterm elections, Reynolds announced her re-election campaign at the Iowa State Fairgrounds on Wednesday. Republicans at the event celebrated her leadership through natural disasters and the COVID-19 pandemic. And Reynolds used the announcement to highlight how Republican policies are best for Iowans.
The fight isn't over. And with your vote, your support, your prayers, we can continue to get this done.
Iowa Democrats have criticized Reynolds for her policies like her tax plan and recent anti-LGBTQ legislation, banning trans women from playing on gender-affirming sports teams. Her likely opponent, Deidre DeGier, said, quote, "Her biggest accomplishments this session are including legislation that bullies our kids and tax giveaways for millionaires, leaving out, unfortunately, working families," end quote. Watch this week's DITV segment, Backroom Breakdown, for more on Reynolds and DeGier's campaign priorities. And UI undergraduate student government has undertaken large funding projects. USG has allocated $20,000 for renovations of the Iowa Memorial Union. It will be spent on technological renovations in the first floor boardroom, the River Room, and the Divine Nine Room, and the Multicultural Greek Room. The hope is with these advances, there can be increased availability for hybrid learning. The legislation passed 33-3 with 1 absentation. USG is also giving $25,000 to the Community Mental Health Crisis Hotline. $5,000 of it will be allocated to technology fees, and the rest of the funds will go towards operating costs for the hotline. This hotline has been running since October 2021, and senators say this will help keep the line going as a resource for UI students. Hanshaw Auditorium is expanding its executive role with the new Office of Performing Arts and Engagement. The hope is that with this position will elevate Hanshaw's role on campus, especially as they work becomes a self-sustaining venue by 2024. This addition takes place after Executive Director Chuck Swanson announced his retirement effective this summer after 20 years of leading. The internal search for a new Executive Director and head of this new office continues. Executive President and Provost Kevin Kriegel said, quote, "I have no doubt we will develop a slate of candidates that have great knowledge of our community and our legacy in performing arts and can quickly get to work bringing this ambitious vision to life," end quote. The Office of Performing Arts and Engagement will be up and running by July 1st, 2022. And the snow outside is not ideal spring break weather. Angelica, can you tell us more if the forecast is bringing us some sunshine?
Yes, thank you, Ethan. Well, today is going to be cold with a little bit more of winter season with a high of 31 degrees. We have a live view of campus right now, and tomorrow is going to be colder with a high of 27 degrees with wind chills around -10. But we have good news. Starting on Sunday, we will see a warm-up in temperatures rounding from the 50s and 60s, the highest being on Wednesday. And I gotta say, I am jealous of those who are going to the beach this spring break. It looks like we have an update from the men's basketball team. How is it going over there, Caitlin?
Thanks, Angelica. The Iowa men's basketball team are currently on the road for the men's Big Ten tournament. Their first game of the tournament was yesterday. DITV sports reporter Sarah Galla has more on how the game went against Northwestern.
It was a blowout game here at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse as the Iowa Hawkeyes took down the Northwestern Wildcats 112-76. The Hawkeyes showed up ready to play and were very hard to stop offensively and defensively. The energy from this team was very evident, and by the end of the first half, it wasn't even close, for when the game was 64-31.
I just think early on, I feel like we're moving the ball really well, especially at the start of games, and that's kind of fed into different guys getting easy looks. And
Keegan Murray was on fire throughout the entire match, and ending the match, she ended with 26 points. Following, Jordan Bohannon had an incredible game as well, with 17 points by the end of the match.
And I'm going to continue to try to lead the team on the floor as a point guard. So we just have a lot of pieces that are flowing together, and we're going to continue to try to stay together the rest of the season.
With the Hawks' communication, hard work, and ball skill, that is something they definitely need to continue in this tournament. The Hawks play again at 2 tomorrow against Rutgers. Be sure to tune in to see how they do. From the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I'm Sarah Galla, DITV Sports.
Iowa volleyball has added another player to their roster yesterday. It was announced by head coach Jim Barnes that the team has added Jacqueline Kaspers, who is transferring from Kent State. The Swalldale, Iowa native played for Kent State for the past 4 years before joining the transfer portal. She played in 63 sets last season, recording 91 kills and 50 digs. Kaspers will join the team in the fall of 2022. Hawkeye Wrestling finished out the Big Ten tournament last weekend and is now looking at the NCAA tournament in Michigan. The national championships come after medically forfeited several wrestlers in the Big Ten tournament, something head coach Tom Brand says was intentional.
We made the best decision for our individuals going forward. The story should be we're going to Detroit. We got 10 guys going to Detroit. My comments regarding making tough decisions as you're getting ready for Detroit.
Iowa is sending their full 10-person lineup to Detroit. 8 with top 10 seeds. Freshman Drake Ayala will be making his national tournament debut at 125 pounds. Alex Marinelli enters the tournament as the Big Ten champion at 165 pounds and seeded number 3 in the country. The first round begins on March 17th in Detroit, Michigan. Keep an eye out for updates on men and women's basketball as well as wrestling. Back to you, Ethan.
Thanks, Caitlin. And now to round up the show, we're going to meet our DITV Pet of the Week. This week's furry friend is Odin. Odin is the best furry friend of DITV reporter Derek Donnellan. Odin loves playing fetch and running around in circles in the snow. But his favorite activity is watching TV and barking at the other dogs on the screen. If you'd like to submit your furry friend to be the Pet of the Week, email ditvvo@gmail.com with the subject DITV Pet of the Week. Make sure to add some fun facts and a picture about your furry friend. Thank you for tuning in to DITV News. Head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. We are off the air next week, but we'll be back at this time Monday, March 21st. And to be sure you won't miss our first day back, remember to set your clocks forward on Sunday for Daylight Savings Time. From DITV News, I'm Ethan Brander. Have a great day.